Explore Maui, offering a unique land and soul-based experience of Hawaii, focusing on natural wonders, ancestral knowledge, and the spirit of aloha. Enhance your understanding of the islands and its culture through our holistic educational approach. For a deeper dive into Hawaii's inner journey, check out our Hawaii Immersion course. Click the link below to buy the course and immerse yourself in the enchanting world of Hawaii. This comprehensive program will dive into Hawaiian language basics called Olelo Hawaii, history, mythology, and family-centered education content linked to place-based learning. With over 31 lessons available for self-paced learning, you'll also have access to 4 live weekly sessions aimed at initiating your Hawaiian language journey. Click the link below to start your Hawaii Immersion course. Kumulipo is the mytho-history of Hawaii, the cosmology, metaphysics, sociology, and pedagogy. Kumulipo is a worldview of mytho-history in the context of this episode. We're going to be going through it in the light of modern science. So we're going to take a dive. Hopefully we can get some of your input, so let us know what you got out of this episode and things you could add or you would take away. So right into it, Kumulipo. Kumulipo means just bringing chaos into order. Kumulipo starts with the first 8 va in the realm of po, of information or unknowingness, darkness, the abyss, and it heads to the realm of ao, of enlightenment, of light, of consciousness. Kumulipo also can be translated as the source from the light. Source from a star. Lipo is a star. And we're going to quickly learn that a lot of the evolution in the Kumulipo comes from light. And it fits perfectly into quantum theory and all of the atomic structures that function under light, just like photosynthesis. We're going to cover that in Va 1, how light affects material and creates variance. But before we start, let's start off with some theistic evolution and mutation premises that can bring this to life. So premises are idea that we're going to follow the conclusion that within the context of Kumulipo, we can see how it not only encompasses the idea of theology, of God and his character and nature, but also includes evolution. Va 1, like we said, we're going to talk about photosynthesis. So in the Kumulipo, Va 1 starts off with energy. Energy from where? Energy that started space, time, and the fabrics of the heaven and earth. So you can follow along. This is Va 1 in the Kumulipo. It talks about kahuli vela kahunua, kahuli lole kalani. Space, time, and the fabric of heavens and earth were illuminated by light. Here we see how light is the fabric of reality. Light is also important here in Va 1 because we see the makali'i. Regardless how you interpret that, there's just a change in pattern. So the Kumulipo is about a change in pattern as we go from Va to Va. From Va 1 all the way to 16, there's change in patterns. The change in patterns, we're starting off with Va 1. Today, we're talking about light hitting the primordial plasma and its foundations and creating spectrums of light for variance. So in Va 1, we see lots of seaweed and lots of types of urchins. And seaweed, in the light of what we're talking about, is part of the photosynthetic process. We know that Plants create their own sugars, they create their own energy from the light during the photosynthetic process. So seaweed is a huge part of that. As spectrums of light is hitting the ocean, it's creating refractions and breaking up light into colors that refract into the material, creating new life. Next we see urchins. Urchins are made of calcium, and calcium becomes the backbone, the spine of the entire life. It's the start of life we're talking about in Va 1. So it starts off with light hitting different types of spectrum and calcium creating the backbone, creating a bone of the ocean. And this is all to do with the photosynthetic process that's happening within the ocean. The ocean is building energy and it's building the backbone of life. This is the electronic soup we're talking about. It's just water, salt, and light. Next on, we're moving to Va 2. Since Va 1 was about energy and light, Va 2 is about water. So salt water is a good conductor of electricity, which makes ocean water a resource for renewable energy. Partnered with light, water, verse 2, Va 2 is energy. So life began at ocean sea vents. We talked about the seaweed and sea urchins. And here, light is heated with infrared energy from the Earth's magnetic field. So we're starting to introduce another concept, which is the magnetic field. But Va 2 is all about light. Here in Va 2, we're introduced to the different types of fish and their eyes. So po vehi vehi. So eyes are starting to open. Enlightenment is starting to happen. It's at its early stages when we see fish opening their eyes. The word po vehi vehi is like this glimmering. It's a hard seeing through this darkness, through the abyss. But now we have the power of light, and now we're looking at water creating energy. Something special is happening. Fish is starting to appear on the scene in Va 2. So we also talked about how the ocean is filled with electricity. Now we're talking about the ocean as moving. The moving salts within the ocean have an electrical charge, which means you have electrical currents. So these oceans move in cycles, and the motion in the tides, they're all contributing to this magnetic field, which we're going to reach in Va 3. Magnetic field, we're talking about magnetism, is building into the building blocks of the Kumulipo in the first 3 Va. So we have seaweed, we have urchins, we have fish, all with the idea that as natural elements progress throughout the Kumulipo, different diverse light forms appear. Finally, in Va 3 for this episode, we're talking about how diverse groups of species come onto the program because of the light, water, and magnetism of the Kumulipo. Because in Va 3, we're talking about Va 3, is that the evolution of these species, they're all different types of birds, require an internal compass. And this internal compass is guided by magnetism. So we've seen in Va 1, we see light and energy hitting different types of spectrum through the water, creating diverse species. We see the coral forming calcium, which would be the backbone of life within the process, the chemistry process we need. And finally in Va 3, we're seeing eyes open. We're seeing the magnetic forces at work through the different types of bird species. So keep updated on what's going on here. We're going to keep uncovering different Va within the Kumulipo in the context of modern science. As we wrap up our journey through Explore Maui, we hope you've experienced the true essence of Ohana and the island's spirit. This podcast has offered a unique perspective on Maui, focusing on both its natural wonders and timeless wisdom of aloha. Whether you're a homeschool family seeking real-world experience, a visitor looking to enrich your trip, or a long-time resident seeking fresh inspiration, Explore Maui has your go-to resource. Before we part ways, we have exciting news. Are you eager to dive deeper into the heart of Hawaii? Our upcoming Hawaii Immersion online course and webinars offer a unique opportunity to explore the profound depths of the Pacific Gem. Click the link below to discover about Hawaii's language, culture, and cosmic traditions as you've never seen them before.